Hi, everybody. It is Sandy, and I normally do the wake up call, but today I was honored enough to get on the champions page with Isabelle Daikeler, and I'd like to give her a proper introduction because some of you that are on this champions page, let me turn my volume down over here. Yeah, some of you that are on this champions page may not have had the chance to be on a call with Isabelle Daikeler. Some of you are new to Beachbody, so I wanted to make sure that you know who this lady is. She is the co-creator of Shakeology, so we have her here and now to talk about Shakeology. She's also the creator of Daily Sunshine. She is a health, nutrition, and fitness consultant for Beachbody, but I don't want to put her in a box, right, Isabelle? Because what Isabelle is she is a woman who speaks about truth, authenticity, self-acceptance. Yes, I know.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that.
She approaches life with a deep sense of gratitude and wholeness. I wanted to say that because when she speaks, you definitely want to listen to how she phrases things about Shakeology. So with that, I'd like to please welcome Isabelle Daikeler.
Hi. Thank you, Sandy. That's very unexpected, and I really appreciated that.
You're very welcome. So, you know, there's lots of questions about Shakeology, and you've done many calls before. And so we took probably the top 8 to 10 questions that coaches usually have about Shakeology and want to get your sense of, how you talk about it. But let's go from the beginning and let's go with who you are and your passion for good health. When did that all start and why?
Okay, I know we have about 30 minutes. I'm going to try to put as much as I can in a shorter amount of time. But I really want to go into this because I think it really matters to understand where it began and the why behind why I'm involved with Shakeology. So in my early 20s, I started being very ill. It was a 2-year process. And I was always someone, I consider myself healthy, meaning that I was not one to eat Doritos or donuts or drink Coke, never drank coffee. I was always very active. So I thought I ate healthy and I thought it was sufficient. And plus I was in my 20s. So when my health started going down, and like I said, it was a 2 or 2.5 year process where I ended up being at a place where, as I've said to the coaches that know me and know my story, I could not go up the little tiny mini step that led to my door. I couldn't reach up to the doorknob. I was so weak that I collapsed and I cried and stayed there for at least a good hour. That was the sort of end of a 2-year process where I gradually lost my health. Now, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was eating vegetables. I was vegetarian, loading on avocado, all sorts of things that I thought I was doing well. And I was exercising all the time. I was a dancer in my earlier years. So I was clueless what was going on to me. I went to dozens and dozens of doctors. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And as I was spending money on doctors, I could work less and less. So I was in a place where I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't pay my student loan. I couldn't work with my clients. I couldn't function at all. So I was in my apartment wondering, I can't pay my rent next month. What the heck am I going to do? So I was highly stressed on an emotional, spiritual, psychological, and physical place and with no answer. So I want our coaches to know that I know that place. I know what being super broke is. I know what being super ill is. And I know what it's like when you think you're doing everything you should be doing and it's still not enough. I know that place. It's a very scary place. So this is when it really clicked to me, where I realized nobody had answers for me. Therefore, the concept that they'll take care of me, somebody will figure it out for me, was gone. Because I had spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars thinking that, looking for that miracle person. This is when I started looking outside of what I was raised thinking and knowing, how do other culture deal with health? This is when I investigated with Ayurvedic medicine, alternative medicine, acupuncture, Hindu medicine, and also the whole concept of gut health, of emotional health, the connection between your thought, your mind, and your gut, and how it all affects each other. This is when I met, I went to Chinatown, and I had amazing people that understood I was broke and scared and sick, and started educating me on superfood, on the prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzymes, our lovely mushroom and herbs, and also the balance of it all, the synergy of it all, the importance of the balance between protein and carbs and fat and our fiber, all these things that are now in the Shakeology. It started in my early 20s. And I also understood something that I really didn't know, and that has only gotten worse since then, is that the quality of ingredient is extremely important and very difficult to find. So because I had to grind my own powders, cook my own roots, try to do rudimentary extraction in my home by boiling and all that stuff, I realized when I bought something from this market, it didn't work. Something was not there. But when I went to this guy, oh my God, did I feel the potency. So the quality of the ingredients started there for me. It's not just what you've got. It's the potency, the bioavailability, and the power of the food, of the herb, of the mushrooms. So this is how far back it starts with me. Shakeology started there, and it became a protocol. So as I healed myself, it took, in about 3 months' time, I started feeling better, and I knew I was on the right track, and it changed my life. So my career went whoosh, because I had to really study and look into a way of living that was very different in how I was doing it. And I started designing shakes for groups of people I would train, because I was a track and field coach, a trainer, a sport nutritionist, and I was dealing with the mental state of my clients a lot, since I was dealing with athletes as well. So the protocol of the shake designed for them and to enhance their well-being started there. Not drastic, not what's bad for me, but what is good for all of us. The union of it all, not the separation of what's not okay. I didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to focus what should be helpful for all of us, no matter where we come from. And that's where it began, Sandy. And these are the ingredients that are now in the shake. So this is not, oh, I read a book about it. It sounds so great. Let me shove a whole bunch of stuff in there. This is, I know these ingredients intimately. They saved my butt. And so I honor them, I know them, I love them, and this is how the synergy and the ingredients that you now have began.
Wow. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard it like that. So comprehensive. It was a precursor to Shakeology, what you were doing. Yeah. You were making your own shakes. So then take us to the genesis of Shakeology. How did the creation of the product really happen? And how did that get to its, form now?
Yes. Well, as you now know, this was a protocol for me. This is something I've always done. And by the time I met Carl, I had done it for at least 18 years or something like that. So I never trained or took on a group without really looking into the nutrition and what was required for their well-being. So when Carl met me and when we moved in, from the very get-go, he saw me create shakes for everybody, because it was this is part of what I am, right? So if I had friends over, I wouldn't offer them a tea. I would say, can I make you a shake? And it was very normal for me. So I would always create stuff for my friends, for my teachers, my little school that I created, for them, for the kids at our school, for my nannies and my assistant, and everybody that works and is around me. It's something that I do for Carl, of course. And of course, when I was a when I became a mother, I created that for my boy because he was a super, super picky eater. So Carl asked me to please create something for the company. Now you have to know that I have created products in the same form, meaning a shake, to many other companies, health food stores, things like that. And what broke my heart each time is that as soon as the profit came in, as soon as they saw there was something there that was worth their attention, they would proceed to then bring the quality down so that the profit would go up. And there's nothing I could do about it. They owned the formula, it was theirs. And I would beg and explain that if the quality goes down, eventually the profit will go down because it will not work anymore. But I had no real voice with these companies. And so I was really not eager to do that for Carl. And as I always laugh and say is that I'm married to this particular CEO, so that if he would piss me off and do something like that, it'd be really hard to wake up each morning next to him. So it was a big deal for me to commit to that. So we had an agreement that Carl would definitely not jeopardize the bioavailability, the quality, the potency of the ingredients for profit. And Sandy, you know that Carl has gone way above those words and that commitment, and is actually always putting money back into the shake so we can continuously get better and better, whether it's new technology or an ingredient that is now available that wasn't at the time. He's allowed me to keep this shake alive so that it's not static. And he's kept his word. It is actually better, and it's getting better and better as the years progress. And I think that's very exciting. And that's something that I personally never experienced before with other companies in my experience.
You know, you mentioned bioavailability. Will you just define that for the viewers? Thanks.
It's a word that simply means that the form that it's at is so natural, so uncompromised, that because it's nature and because your body is nature, it will recognize this ingredient and it will absorb, process it, and extract all the nutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, protein. It will extract it easily and effortlessly and process it and get from it what it needs with ease without extra effort. If an ingredient is compromised, whether it's GMO, toxicity, or just not a great quality, it will have to work harder to extract whatever it can from it and to get rid of toxicity, toxins, elements, chemicals that it definitely does not want to have in its bloodstream. So it will have to work very hard to clear that. Is that a good answer?
It's perfect. And it makes me also think about, you were making all these shakes and you were going out and getting all the ingredients yourself in the early days. So did you have involvement in sourcing ingredients or approving, taste, or approving the actual final product that we have now?
Very little, meaning that my consciousness was there. But my job was not, at the time I traveled 9-10 months out of the year with clients all around the world. I would make contact. I would discover all the things that we now know for Shakeology. I would do my best to have an input, but I was not the master of my domain, right? And I didn't have the finance to really make sure that what I was told, what I was perceiving really was it. That's the amazing thing that I now get to personally live with this product. It is the first time that I know for a fact that we have dozens and dozens of experts traveling all around the world, testing the soil, testing the ingredients once it's harvested, before it's processed, before it's shipped, once it's arrived here at the airport, once it gets at the company, then quarantine, then tested again. It's even tested in each bag before you get it, before we seal it, before you receive it at the door. Test it hundreds of times, which usually it's a few times. I've never seen something so thorough, and that cannot happen without finance, without a big company behind me, Carl, Darren, everybody involved at the Beachbody community, our own guys, our experts, our white suits, right? We need the finance. We need the ability to do that. You do not know unless you do that. You do your best. You do personal relationship. I met many people, try to use my intuitive knowing, try to read the documentation, but you don't know until you test it yourself. And that, I understand how important it is now, because we refuse more ingredients that we receive, meaning that even when it looks good on paper, because first we start with documentation from all the party involved. We get all that we can get from them about their product, about the ingredient, but then we test. And so often, Sandy, it doesn't pass our rigorous testing. It doesn't look as good as it looked on paper. That was a huge aha moment. And as we all know now, the farming industry is highly compromised. The chemicals in the air, in the soil, in the water is insane. Therefore, even when you buy organic, even when you do your best, sometimes it's compromised. And we as lay people cannot know that. We do our best and we support communities that do their best. But when you can test and know for yourself that it's incredible value, that to me is the most incredible thing about Shakeology, that we can afford to do that. Nowadays, it's almost necessary.
Completely agree. It makes me think sometimes when I open my bag and a little bit spills, I'm like, oh, no. Like it's so valuable to me.
Absolutely.
So you kind of answered this question, which is how would you set it apart from other superfood shakes on the market? But you
No. Go ahead. I think I have something amazing to add to that. So go finish that. I'm excited.
So how do you set it apart from other superfood shakes on the market? And also, how can you talk about why this is not just a protein shake?
Okay. So I guess before I read that, I'll answer that. Thank you, Cindy. Well, I kind of answered that with my story. So when I got sick, fibromyalgia, all sorts of things that had no names back in those days. When I got not well, it was really immunity, right? My body was unable to deal with the stressors. I cannot heal that solely with protein. The best protein in the world would not have been enough, nowhere near enough back in those days. That's the same principle that's behind the shake right now. Yes, we do have amazing, potent, pure protein in our shake in a great balance with the carbs and the fiber and the fat. But the key to the shake, it's dozens and dozens and dozens of ingredients that brings the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients that you need to deal with the stressors of life, whether it's disease, whether it's just a crazy lifestyle, whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's 3 kids and a part-time job, whether it's you lose your house, whether it's going to school and having to study insane amount of hours. It's the stressors of life that your body constantly needs to deal with, not even discussing now the pollution in the air and in our environment that we didn't have to deal with hundreds of years ago. So protein is not the big thing that I was so concerned of. Yes, I wanted it. Yes, it's part of our shake, really good source of protein. But the other elements in our plant kingdom is what I was concerned and wanted deeply in our Shakeology. It's that we want. It's the biggest salad in a bowl that you could have. It would cost you a fortune to get 60 plus ingredients like that into your day-to-day living in order to have everything you need, the most potent form of nutrition, at least one time. We're not telling you have that shake and then you don't need to eat healthy. No, Beachbody is all about great eating, great habits. But we are saying in this little scoop, we want to put dozens and dozens of ingredients that you could not possibly eat every day, with the potency, with the quality, with the bioavailability that we know for a fact that we have in that scoop. So that's what it's about. The shake has protein. It is not a protein shake. It's a wellness scoop. It's a boost to your immune system scoop. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense and a great way to talk about it. Keep going.
Can I read my thing, Sandy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Carl came up with a great analogy, which really explains why the shake is so sophisticated, because your machine, your body is a sophisticated machine. So it was not good enough to just have a few good things a day, a broccoli, a little bit of chlorella, whatever your right is. We knew that your body is so sophisticated, does so many things in one day, some consciously, some unconsciously, that it required a sophisticated drink. So he came up with a way to explain it that I love. People look at nutrition as fuel and think that means it's just as simple as putting gasoline into your car, but that's not what it is at all. Your car doesn't run just on gasoline, just like your body doesn't just run on carbs or protein. Sure, the gasoline is what the engine ignites to make it move, but you also need oil to keep the whole machine lubricated and functioning. You need brake fluid to help the car stop, hydraulic fluid so that you can steer. The point is, even a car needs all sorts of different nutrition in order to function. So now let's look at the complex system of the body. You're not just consuming fuel for energy. At least one time a day, you are consuming the dense nutrition required to make your brain, your heart, your internal organs, your digestion, your metabolisms, bones, joints, everything to function as best as it can. If you think that can be achieved from a slice of pizza or a multivitamins, good luck. You are part of nature, and our entire biology relies on healthy fats, protein, fiber, phytonutrients, antioxidants, and yes, even superfoods in order to function at your best. Now, when you look at that little scoop of powder, you should think, wow, I can't believe it only costs that much in order to feed my body what it needs so easily. Isn't
wow. I want a copy of that.
I know. I want everybody to have it recorded so they can just memorize it.
Well, we have it recorded now, but I would love to have that in print because that is, it's really well put, because I think that convenience food has stripped away everything that we know about relating to nature and functioning at our wholeness, at our best.
This modern world makes us feel like we're separate from nature.
Exactly.
Our buildings and our streets protecting us from the elements. It makes us forget we are of nature. We're designed for each other, and we have less and less of that in the countless ways. So to me, this scoop is precious. And when I hear an objection on the price, it really pisses me off. I get it. Some people definitely won't be able to buy it. I totally understand that. And yet, majority of the time, I see them spend money on a $4 or $5 cappuccino, frappuccino, whatever that is. They will sit in lines for the latest version of the iPhone. Really, is that necessary? They will buy fancy cover for the iPhone that costs a fortune, Sandy.
The cover for the iPhone costs more than Shakeology.
Correct.
But let me get to the price in a second. You were talking about all the nutrients in one scoop, and you were talking about, I want to get to the vegan formula because this comes up often. I drink the vegan formula every day, tropical. Are we getting the same nutrients in the vegan formula than we are in the whey formula?
It is not the same because the vegan formula we added no vitamins and minerals, so that the 60 plus ingredients have their own vitamin and minerals that are loading that scoop that we're having. I'm having the vegan as well. But we can't quantify it, meaning because it's all these ingredients, because it's whole food, because we haven't quantified the vitamins and minerals and added in a way that we can count and know exactly what amount goes in the shake each time, we wanted to leave that one alone as is, whole food with all the amazing nutrition that these very high quality ingredients provide us with. We wanted that version like this for many reasons. One of them is some people may be on a program with a biochemist or a nutritionist and have a specific set of vitamins and minerals that they're taking already, and it would really mess them up if they had extra that they don't know exactly what they're getting. That was one of the reasons that we kept one vegan like this, and the way we added the nutrition of specific vitamin and minerals, very high quality, very bioavailable, the latest, meaning that I have another statement here that I could read if you wanted, Sandy, but meaning that we looked at what are most people greatly lacking. What are they greatly lacking, regardless of where we're going, what we're looking at? And so we check in every year or two, and we upgrade if necessary with very good, same kind of quality of our whole food product. We spend as much time and care with the vitamins system, but we can quantify it. We know exactly what's in there. So in the back of the bag, you can really see exactly how much goes in. That helps people that perhaps do not trust multivitamins. That's another crazy place now where you don't really know what you're getting. There's so much to choose from. And that way you may want to skip it. Or you may buy less of a certain vitamins because you know you're getting so much in the whey formula. And neither one is better than the other. It's just a choice. Shakeology is part of the Beachbody family, and we are masters at giving you options so that you can keep your own individuality in how you want to handle your body, whether it's a food program, an exercise program, or a shake. So it just gives you more option and deciding what you want to do and what makes you comfortable. Does that make sense?
I like that. I like the way that you've placed it, because everybody has the right to read labels or not read labels. But we're very transparent with Shakeology and what's on the bag, and look at it. And so thank you. And with that, I want to get to the pricing question, which is talk about why the value of Shakeology is way more important than the price.
Well, I think that I've already touched on a lot of that, as you said. Let's see if I can... I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to add a few things. So I've already discussed, and I'm just going to recap real quick so that it's clear in your mind, especially if you're new with us. So it's not just the ingredients that matters. The price, part of the price that you're paying for is the dozens and dozens of experts traveling the world, testing the soil, meeting the people, making sure that everything that we want in our ingredients is provided and there and intact, and all that we do not want, chemicals, GMO, etc., is not in there. So traveling the world, testing the soil, testing the ingredients as much as I've described, making sure the manufacturing process, the delicate technology does not destroy any of these beautiful ingredients. The way you process things, having the best technology to keep it intact so that all that we desire remains is not an easy feat. It's very easy with alcohol or heat to destroy all of that. Adding ingredients to it to make it last longer. Cutting it with maltodextrin of certain ingredients that makes it not as potent, because some of it is a powder that just makes it look as if you have as much of that product, but you have only half. There's a zillion ways that you can cheat the purity of an ingredient and of a product. All of that we make sure is not happening by all the tests that we provide with this product. The way the technology is set up, the way the manufacturing facilities are very thoroughly cleansed and checked, so that, again, no elements come into our powder that we did not intend to be there. The experts themselves at our labs that are working for us day in and day out, traveling all around the world, constantly checking on the shake. The fact that we don't keep the shake static, that we make sure that if something is new, something is interesting, we investigate. Sometimes we collaborate, we invest in a technology, a product, in order to continue getting better and better. This product is fluid. It's not static. It will grow with us. It will get better with us. All of that is the price, not just the ingredients, which is important, but all that other stuff that truly matters and makes a huge difference. This is why so many of you guys, once you start drinking the shake, you feel it. When you skip it, you don't like it, and you feel it. This is why you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. We know it works. It doesn't just look good on the label. You will feel the difference. It works. And so we feel safe to give you that 30-day money-back guarantee, because we know that once you start drinking it, you will sense the difference. Sensing the difference is no small feat. I cannot speak of other companies, and I'm never interested in comparing and discussing them. I am not part of them, but I'm sitting here, standing and living the step-by-step moments of the creation of this shake. So I know what this is. And this is the prize, Sandy. This is not just looking good and shiny. This is the real deal.
Thank you. I think that was so well said that people can go back and listen to how you said it. It's not just the ingredients in the bag. It's even getting to the bag. And I think people are becoming more and more aware of fake news or fake information. And so the fact that we are I can't believe I just lost the word. We have so much integrity that it just makes me incredibly proud. So I'm sure you are very proud that we didn't skimp out.
Yeah, it was crucial. I literally, and this is very true, and Carl knows that, if at some point something was to happen and people would compromise this shake, I'd be out. Yeah. I can't, as a mother, as a wife, as a human being who's been ill, who's been broke, who's been scared, I can't have my name attached to a product that would just waste their money and not give them 10 times more than what they think they're getting. It was important for me to see that they felt a difference. That's the only reason why we do this.
So Isabelle, you brought up being a mother, and like 90% of the coaches that are listening right now are either mothers, or they are either pregnant, or they are nursing, or they are giving, something to their children. Can you just talk about just give your opinion on pregnant mothers or nursing mothers who are consuming Shakeology? I know it's always been a question you get asked all the time. Yeah. Just give us your opinion on it.
Yes. Well, legally, I have to say, and it's for very good reason, we don't know every single one of you. We don't know your children. We don't know your health history. So obviously, especially when you're pregnant or post-pregnancy, bring you back to your pediatrician or your doctor and look at the ingredients and decide together if you feel comfortable drinking the shake. So legally, we cannot make that decision for you, and that makes sense to me. So it's on you. Now, that being said, this is whole food. Those ingredients are ingested by millions of mothers around the world in other cultures and have done so for thousands of years. We just haven't been privy and comfortable with these ingredients the way they have in America. I have been using it when I was pregnant and right after my pregnancy. It's been good to me. So I cannot tell you to do that. I have to say, talk to your doctor and make your own decision. But I've used it and I'm fine. And I think that's as personal as I can get with that question. Right, Sandy?
Of course. But I did want to bring it up since so many people ask. And another thing that people ask, that is, how do you get people to drink Shakeology every day? Our coaches are so good at getting people started and tasting Shakeology and loving it, but then getting them to make it a habit, drink it every day and go for the long haul.
Well, one of the things that I know when I watch the stories of our coaches is that it always happens with Shakeology, regardless of what else they're doing in terms of diet, meal plan, exercise. They always have a Shakeology every day. It is part of their success stories. They all know that they felt a difference, that it supported them greatly in their journey. I think that has to be made clear. The other aspect of it is really emphasizing that without good nutrition, nothing else works. If you don't put gas in your car can't go anywhere. You can have an amazing trip plan to, San Diego or Santa Barbara or wherever you are in the world, and you'll be sitting in your car going nowhere and just dreaming about it because there's no gas in there. The same thing is true for nutrition. Now, I think people think they very often I see they got themselves somewhere, they're uncomfortable, not feeling good, not being healthy, in pain, no real sense of joy, because as I know, when you're in pain, when you're not healthy, when you're not well, it's very challenging to enjoy life and to take on challenges. So their concept that they know what to do in terms of nutrition, they've got it all figured out, and they're just going to cut out a few things here and there, and that's going to be plenty, not only to regain their health back, but to continue functioning, doing all the things they have to do all day long, and to add an intense exercise regimen to it. All these things requires intense nutrition for your system to be able to put out. You can't put out all that, go to work, deal with your kids, clean the house, cook, and think, and add this exercise program and be on a journey of discovering new food, not quite settled on it, and think that it's going to be easy that way. The Shakeology is your insurance policy. If all else fails, you've got that. And we did all the work. You don't have to do it. My history, Darren's history, all the talent we have at Beachbody, we did the hard work for you. We went around the world. We gathered it all up. It's clean. It's potent. It's going to make you feel so good. It's going to help you heal your lifestyle in that little scoop. It's your insurance policy. So when people say, oh, I know what to do, I eat enough, I remember thinking eating enough. I remember not understanding why. I wasn't feeling better and able to function, and I wasn't even the worst of cases. So I say, don't underestimate the need for nutrition, deep cellular nutrition, not just carbs, protein, fat, and some fiber, which we never get enough of, but all the other elements that are very challenging to get nowadays because it's disappearing from our food supply. Deep prebiotic, probiotic, digestive enzyme, antioxidants, phytonutrients. These elements are crucial to your well-being, to your ability to now put out in a whole different way. If you don't understand that your body is your car and you need to give it good food, good gasoline in order to function, you will get it down the line because something's not going to work. You're going to crash. You're not going to be able to put out the workout exercise and show up at 5 a.m. every morning. Something's going to give. Without nutrition, none of it works. And this is why I created it back in the days. This is why Darren and I created it together for the Beachbody community. I think it's the lack of understanding how important food is because we disconnected the fact that we are nature. We are eating denatured things that are not even food, much more than we think. Even when we think we're eating healthy, it's not as good as we think it is most of the time. There's a big gap, the missing link that I always talk about. The Shakeology is your missing link. Again, once you experience it for 30 days, it's very hard to deny that truth. Experience is key. If you feel it, you know it.
Well, I have just one more question for you, and you kind of just led right into it. The people who have been drinking Shakeology have a personal experience with it, and we are coming up to the 10-year anniversary of Shakeology. So we have a very big anniversary coming up. I wanted to ask you, for someone who has pretty much eaten clean for many decades now, what has Shakeology done for you personally in these last 10 years?
Yeah, well, first of all, I don't have to work as hard. So I don't have to work as hard to put all of these ingredients together, and it tastes a whole lot better. That's something we haven't touched on yet. So these shakes that I was creating, that I was drinking myself, they're nowhere as delicious as the Shakeology because I couldn't put all these ingredients. Some are foul tasting. All these different kind of ingredients all in one little bowl, like a little shaker, It tasted horrible, but it was worth it, right? It made me feel good. So one benefit is now the experience of drinking my superfood is a whole different ballgame. I love it. I look forward to it. We made it so that you would want to have that shake. We knew it was important. And also something we don't talk about enough nowadays is that there is a desire, your body needs to enjoy itself. It needs to enjoy the experience of eating, of drinking. So it was very important for us that in order for you to feel really satiated, that you also liked drinking the shake, that it was very fulfilling also on an emotional level, sensory level, because it tastes delicious. So I couldn't do that back in the days. I can with the machine behind me with Beachbody. So it put all these ingredients together. I am now positively certain that it's clean, and it grows, like I said. So what it does is that it allows me to have more in my shake that I could back in the days. It allows me to have new discoveries and rediscover the shake over and over again with new technology or a new information that we now can go after ingredients that we've wanted for years but couldn't. Now we can. So I can update my dose of daily dense nutrition in a way that I couldn't back in the days. And it also allows me in my life to feed it to my child because it tastes good, because it's not yucky, and because it's so delicious. It's very easy to add avocado, to add banana, to add fruits, to add spinach, to add kale, to add cauliflower. It's very easy to make it even more nutritious because it's so yummy. So back in the days, adding all that stuff on top of what was in my shake, it would have been like gagging time. But it's so easy and you don't even perceive it when you add all these things to the Shakeology. So it's allowing me to do all that and to know without an ounce of a doubt that is as clean as I would want it to be for myself, for my child, for my family, for my friend, and for all of you guys. Now I have no doubt it is what we say it is.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Isabelle. We're done. Thank you for spending the time and teaching coaches, especially new coaches that are new to Beachbody. They may not even know that Carl Daikeler is your husband and he's the CEO of this company. So they're seeing you before him.
I think they'll see him tomorrow, right?
They probably will. Yes. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much. And we'll talk to you very soon, Isabelle.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I'm so blessed and grateful and thankful to have been invited. Thank you, Sandy.
You're welcome.